I actually need to run to the post office later, and I will be wearing these pajamas under a long coat. Who's gonna know? Hi guys, welcome back to another holiday episode of Crue Trime! Crue Trime! Crue Trime. But what will I wear? I've been watching a lot of The Grinch.
Hello.
My name is Sarah, and what I do here is tell you a terrible story to ruin your day and put on my makeup at the same time. So if that sounds like fun to you, you are in the right place. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification, and then that way you will never miss one of my terrible stories. Okay, so we are in full holiday mode and/or have entered holiday panic. So this episode is going up on Thursday, December 21st. Hanukkah just wrapped up last week. Kwanzaa starts next week, and this weekend is the Thunderdome of Christmas activities. That's where moms across America spend Christmas Eve frantically gift wrapping while chugging boxed wine.
Mommy doesn't get drunk, she just has fun.
I see you, friends. I'm with you. I'm also permanently in pajamas this week. And pro tip, if you're wearing matching pajamas, you automatically look put together, even if you are a stinky goblin mess, like me. You know what's funny? I went out of my way to warn the parents in last week's episode, to wear earbuds so I wouldn't ruin the Santa stuff. And there were comments about how I don't bother to give warnings on my regular murdery videos. You guys, I literally make a warning in the first 30 seconds of every video. My name is Sarah, and what I do here is tell you a terrible story to ruin your day. You guys are silly. So most of you guys really seem to enjoy the seasonal episode from last week. And I recently did an updates episode that was a really nice change of pace, bite-sized bits from stories that we've already covered in the past. So today I'm going to try to combine those flavors for this episode. Give you an advent calendar of crimes. Appetizers. A charcuterie board of crime. I'm really over here trying to make fetch happen.
Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Also, today's stories are the non-violent kind, so you don't have to worry about having nightmares until next week, anyways. Also, by the way, all of the makeup that I'm using in today's video, I will link down in the description box. So in the first story, in December of 2010 in Koblenz, Germany. That's a city on the banks of the Rhine River, just west of Frankfurt. Frankfurt.
I have it on very good authority that within 20 years, everyone will be speaking German. Or a Chinese-German hybrid.
The Polizei were tipped off to the home of a 58-year-old hippie. In the living room, they found a 7-foot-tall Christmas tree, decked out with tinsel and beautiful twinkling lights. But upon closer inspection, the festive plant was discovered to be a marijuana plant. When questioned by the investigators, the man was confused, saying that he intended to add more decorations to it and place presents underneath it according to tradition.
Perfektenschlag. Right now, I'm in it. Just to be clear, there is a second definition, perfect pork anus, which I don't mean.
Now, this event happened some 13 years ago, but in Germany, recreational use of cannabis is still illegal, although possession of minor amounts is not typically prosecuted. And there has recently been some significant movement regarding totally legalizing the use. However, in this case, this highest of trees was seized.
Hey, put the shorty down! I'll give you Funyuns and Cheetos!
And the happy hippie was charged with possession of over 5 ounces of Christmas chronic. And the Googles tells me that that's enough to roll over 200 Sportzigarettas. That's a lot. Now, I don't know whatever happened to this happy hippie, but hopefully he's having a lovely holiday season. If you guys know what happened to this guy, please let me know down in the comments. Okay, now this one really made me giggle. In December of 2017, police were dispatched to the 6900 block of Greenback Lane in Citrus Heights, California. Now, that's a small town just north of Sacramento. 32-year-old Jesse Barabee had gotten himself stuck, but was able to wiggle himself free enough to reach his phone and dial 911 for help. What was he doing, you ask? He was attempting to break into a business to rob it, by climbing down the chimney. Look at this arrest photo. Jesse! Why is that so funny to me? I'm so tickled. Well, when the police and fire department arrived at the scene, Lori's Little Shack on Greenback, it's a local's favorite bar and grill, they had to use special equipment to get this bootleg Santa out of the chimney. Look at, in this picture, you see this? That's the top of his head and his arm. What an idiot. So this place actually has a very lovely fireplace in the dining room area, but the chimney for it doesn't go straight up. It has a 90-degree corner in it. So stupid ass Jesse, when he came down the chimney, couldn't make the turn and got stuck. And the fireplace is only 18 inches wide. The fact that a full ass grown man thought that he could maneuver inside that? Come on. Well, Jesse was removed from the tight space uninjured, but he was charged with 1 count of burglary. So the thing that makes this so funny is that this guy, Jesse, was a regular customer at the restaurant. The owner, Lori Lamoro, she recognized him. She was glad that he wasn't hurt and actually had a pretty good laugh over the incident. So what exactly was he trying to steal? You know, money from the cash register? Was he going to break into the safe? The employees actually had stockings hanging up over the fireplace. And the owner said that there was probably about $300 to $400 worth of tips in total in those stockings. And I guess he knew about it. What a ding dong. You guys, I don't know if I need to tell you this, but don't climb down chimneys, okay? It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's actually super dangerous. There's really only one fella that has the proper training and credentials, and I think we all know who that is. The police department released a statement about the incident, and they said that, quote, "The criminal Santa does not have the same skills as the real deal." LOL. Seriously, the amount of people who have tried to get in and out of a building using a chimney every year isn't a big number, but it's very, very close to the number of people who die in chimneys every year. So, you guys remember the story from Gremlins when Kate talks about why she hates Christmas?
The house was freezing, so I went to try to light up the fire, and that's when I noticed the smell.
Her dad was in the Santa suit, dead in the chimney. You guys, don't do it, okay? Leave it to the pro. Okay, in 2016 in Post Falls, Idaho, which is right near the border of Washington, a 67-year-old man was observed to be driving his car down the wrong direction on Syringa Avenue. When police pulled over the brown PT Cruiser near Paulston Avenue and Albert Street, which is about a block away from the police station, by the way, the vehicle was still in the wrong lane of travel. So the driver explained to the police officer that he wasn't from the area and he'd gotten confused and turned around and was just lost. Well, okay, license and registration. The name on the driver's license? Santa Claus.
Santa! Oh my God!
Well, old Santa Claus, and that was his legal name, by the way. Legal name, Santa. He had a full white beard, he was pretty far from the North Pole, and drunker than Cooter Brown. The officer noticed a very strong aroma of alcohol wafting out of the driver's window. Well, Santa told the officer that he had enjoyed 3 or 4 beers earlier that afternoon at the $Moondollars Bistro, which is a restaurant there in Post Falls, Idaho.
Do you think he's gonna remember my list?
I think you're probably better off just sending a letter.
In the roadside sobriety tests, Santa struggled to maintain his balance. And later, when they administered the breath test, he blew a .130 and a .119. So, very naughty. That is very, very naughty behavior, Santa. Drinking and driving is a very serious offense. Okay, super dangerous. Santa Claus was arrested and charged with DUI, driving under the influence, but he was very cooperative. And at the following day's court appearance, after he spent the night in the drunk tank, the DUI charge was amended to misdemeanor reckless driving, to which the bad Santa pled guilty and paid a $700 fine. Just a friendly reminder, guys, drinking during the holidays is a regular part of celebrating with your friends and family, but be responsible. Don't take any chances. Just hitch a ride in a one-horse open sleigh Or, Uber. This is a good one. This is a really funny one. In Cleburne, Texas, the St. Mark United Methodist Church of Cleburne, Texas, hosted Breakfast with Santa in 2018. So this annual Breakfast with Santa event is put on by the Kiwanis Club and some other local organizations. And it's meant for families to enjoy a pancake breakfast and, get pictures with Santa. And there's a Christmas market for kids to shop for gifts for their families. And the money that is raised from the sales of the breakfast, it all goes right back into the community. It's very wholesome. Well, at the 2018 event, protesters showed up. Protesters at Breakfast with Santa. Well, as these families, including small children, arrived at the church, this group of 3 men stood outside on the church sidewalk, holding signs and yelling with bullhorns. They were yelling and shouting that Santa's not real. How dare they? And they were also saying that the parents were wrong for lying to the children. One parent, Heather Johnson, and mother of 4 small children, asked the men to please not ruin Santa and Christmas for the kids, And the men just got louder. At one point, the men even went inside the church to confront Santa. They went straight up to Santa, Bibles in hand, smacking their Bibles in his face, and just really aggressive, demanding to know, are you a Christian? Do you know Jesus? What would Jesus say if he saw you dressed like this? She's not a Christian! Santa told him, yeah, I'm a Christian, and, this is a fun event for children and families, and this conversation is over. By the way, who cares if Santa's Christian? He's Santa. He can do whatever he wants. Who cares? Well, Santa told these men that they needed to leave the property. The men told him, you're gonna have to answer to God. She is dark-sided too! Relax. It's Breakfast with Santa, okay? The event organizers asked these men, to leave the grounds. They're being disruptive, they're scaring the children, and, just being a general nuisance. 2 of the men left, but one of them stayed behind. 31-year-old Aaron Urbanski was riled up that day. You ain't about to trample on my civil rights. He probably did not sound like that. Well, apparently Aaron was protesting based on sincerely held religious beliefs. So he was just upset, and yelling at these kids and parents and Santa, are you going to keep lying to these children about Santa Claus, this fake, or are they going to know Jesus? He was also telling the parents that they were going to go to hell for lying to their kids about Santa. Well, Aaron was arrested and booked for criminal trespassing. The mayor of the town wasn't at the event, but he later spoke to the news about the incident.
We love Santa Claus. We love Christmas in Cleburne, Texas. And I hope those protesters know they're probably going to get a big lump of coal instead of being on the nice list.
Oh, good one, Dad. The mayor very clearly said that he supports anybody's right to protest so long as they do it legally, but this guy was on private property and he was asked to leave and refused. When you look up the headlines for this case, it says, man arrested for saying Santa's not real. That's not why he was arrested. Although, how dare he? One churchgoer spoke about the incident, defending Santa.
Christmas is love, and love is giving, and if you want to give through Santa, I still believe in Santa,
According to the court documents, Aaron Urbanski describes himself as a born-again Christian who believes in the fundamental tenets of the Christian faith and accordingly has a duty to ensure that others are not led astray to false idols like Santa Claus. He actually later sued the police officer who arrested him, and he sued the police department for the town, and he sued the town. He asserted that the arrest violated his civil rights based on the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments, which, just to refresh you constitutional scholars, the First Amendment, of course, is, freedom of speech, and the Fourth Amendment is the protection against illegal search and seizure, and the 14th Amendment ensures equal protection and civil rights to African Americans, among some other things. The court filings very clearly state that Aaron Urbanski was arrested for criminal trespassing, not for expressing his point of view, and the case was later dismissed. Okay, so remember last week when I mentioned SantaCon? What I didn't realize was that it's not just a New York City thing. SantaCon is a plague that terrorizes many cities across the United States, and it's international. The SantaCon website lists events in Canada, Germany, Brazil, Spain, Austria, and Thailand. Like, what is happening? I mean, call me a Grinch, but it's a nightmare.
I was in Duane Reade on 14th and 3rd. Aisle 4, I'll never forget. I saw an explicit sex act in the aisle. 2 Santas going at it.
SantaCon, if you don't know what it is, it's a totally free, Santa-themed pub crawl. The point is to dress up like Santa, and then you just go from bar to bar, being silly, having fun, having drinks. Although the SantaCon guidelines from the website, rule number 9 says don't get drunk in public. Oh, okay, Santa. SantaCon was actually born in 1994 in San Francisco, which I did not realize, so pardon me. Anyways, at the 2014 SantaCon event in San Francisco, a Santa walked into a bank on the corner of Sutter and Stockton in broad daylight. This is like 1 p.m. on a Saturday. He very calmly handed a note to the teller, and the note claimed that he had a gun, although one was never seen on the security footage. But you know what they did see was some doughy white guy, you know, about 5'11", between 40 and 50 years old, dressed like Santa Claus. And after passing the teller the note, she passed him back an undisclosed amount of money, and he walked right out and disappeared. He went right out into Union Square with thousands of other Santa Clauses and just disappeared. Isn't this crazy? I found a Reddit thread about this story, and the comments did not disappoint. This is my favorite one. Quote, after finally opening up the vault and gaining access, he quickly realized that there was no chimney and his true escape plan was thwarted. The SantaCon bank robber is still at large. And you know what? Respect. I talk a lot of shit about SantaCon in general, like as a construct, as an idea, as an actual thing. It's the worst.
2 Santas.
But it's a genius move this guy did, you know? There's literally thousands of people dressed up ridiculously. Can you describe the suspect?
Well, who's a white guy dressed like Santa?
It's too much. Well, I hope these stories got you in the mood for the weekend, and we're going to be back at it next week with some good old-fashioned murders. So consider yourself warned. If you are curious to know what makeup I used in today's look, just look down in the description box because I link everything for you. If something is no longer available because it's discontinued, I will find you something very similar. Thank you so much for hanging out today and for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this one, then consider subscribing to this channel before you leave today. I upload new videos here on YouTube every week, and you can follow me on all of the other socials as well. That is it for now. I will catch you next time in the next video. Bye! Sports cigaretas. You guys really seemed... He was protesting. Walked into a bar. Nope. This brush just jumped out of my hand. SantaCon. It's for animals.